America,
On this
America.
Friday, I am your man, Beatbox, along with Jenny J and Clint
Hey
tonight.
guys.
What's up, people? I'm messing around, so just bear with me.
Yeah, I hear that. Technical difficulties. I think they
Yes.
might have been upgrading or trying to do some upgrades on the streaming platform that I use. So that's potentially what's going on.
Hmm.
But you never know, man.
Yeah.
So the good thing is, we're here, and it is Friday. We're a little bit late. Jenny J didn't think I was coming on tonight.
No.
Yeah, so my son was in he's got a motorcycle, and he was in a car accident yesterday. Broke some bones, and I was up at the hospital earlier today. And he's got some surgeries, and it looks like he's gonna be okay. There's nothing permanent, which in my mind is a good thing, because a lot of times when people are like on a motorcycle accident, it turns out way worse than what I'm saying, than what actually
Yes.
happened. Sometimes those things are fatal. People break bones, spine, they're paraplegic. There's just so many different things. So he had on a helmet. He had on a compression jacket. He's 22.
Okay.
I wouldn't have got the bike. I was nervous when I saw him doing it, because when he left the house, he was speeding around the corner like Evil Knievel, and I was like, man, you need to be careful. And he was like, I'm looking for 4 I leap. So when I saw him today, I was like, hey, man, I thought you said you were gonna look before you leap. you know, you know what I'm saying? So that's how us dads do. So I'm not gonna get on him, and we'll see. Hopefully he decides to change his mind and not want to be on the bike. But I think if I were to tell him don't do it, I think that would just make him want to do it more. So that's why I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying, Clint? You ever had that happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, you tell someone not to do something, and just feels like they just want to do it more. Like, you feel like you're egging them on. You're like, they're gonna do it out of spite. You know what I
Well,
mean? Just to
it's more out of spite, the rebellion. I'm grown. I don't need you to tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing. Da 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 da. It's always that same thing. So especially with boys, they hard headed. So once you try to tell them not to do it, they really trying to figure out how to do it. They're really trying to figure. Well, I hear what he's saying, so maybe I'll take in consideration what he said, but I'm gonna figure out a way for me to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe I'll take it into consideration, right? And
Yeah,
then some people don't even
exactly,
bother to do that, right? They just go ahead and go, they just go ahead and get right to it.
exactly.
Yeah, they just go ahead and get right to it. So yeah, so I'm the forever optimist. There's just in my mind a lot of things worse could have happened. So I was up there, I saw him, I'll be back, and so I'm in pretty good spirits that God has blessed us, and kept them
All
around. You
right,
know what
there
I
I
mean?
go.
So
Right.
yeah. So that's the reason why I'm not down and out. Like some people would think that I would be. It's just I guess I rolled a different way. So But at any rate, again, this is Growing and Social. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this Friday. What I'm gonna do also is I'm gonna drop a link down into the comment section down there. So if we're talking about a topic tonight and you feel like you want to cop on and drop your 2 cents, feel free to do that. And everyone else, if this is your first time visiting the channel, we do appreciate you stopping by to visit us. We're here every Friday night, live, generally at 10 o'clock or shortly thereafter. If you can't catch us live, you can catch us wherever you do your podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pocket Cast, Pandora, just wherever you do it, Apple, wherever you do your podcast, you can catch us. Just Google Growing and Social, and you can catch your boy Beatbox, your boy Clint, Jenny J, and the variety of speakers that we have on. You know what I'm saying? And you might catch yourself if you decide to pop on and drop a dime or two or your opinion or what have you. We'll bring you on. So that's how we do it here. It's a family show. It's a family show and it's an all inclusive show. But tonight our topic is why people get well, that was our last week's topic, was why people get married to people they hate. This week's topic is, do men fear marriage for a good reason? Right, Clint? That's what we said we were talking about tonight.
I think
Do
so.
men fear marriage for a good reason? All right. But before we get into that, I just wanna toss it to Jenny J while I bring up some stuff here. Just so she can let us know how she's doing this week.
Okay. So, our next female co-host is celebrating her birthday. She's going to the Beyonce and 50 Cent concert this weekend.
Where?
Lynnette.
I think it's in Atlanta.
Oh, Lamp. Okay.
So she's not coming on this week, but she'll be back next week to regale us with all the stories that she normally tells us. So she'll be here next week. Some of the things I looked at this week were I keep on looking at the Alabama brawl over and over because I am really encouraged by how Black people as a race support each other. There was a guy he swam across the entire river in order to come and help the guy who was being pummeled by the group of people. And he swam, came over, and then started fighting. I'm like, this is what you call Jamaica Phelps, okay?
All right.
Because he was able to do that. No, there was a lady, a white lady, she came to fight. I don't know why she was fighting, and they threw her in the water. So that was epic. She had an epic splash. So I was looking at that. That was really cool. I was like, whoa. She got up this morning and she was like, you know what? I'm just going to be a little bit racist today. But she got baptized, right?
Yeah,
So,
she did. She got baptized for real.
right, right. And then the chair, the steel chair, the famous steel chair. You had this guy, he had the chair and he was just hitting a lady in the head. And I was like, dude, she's sitting on the ground and he's beating her with a chair. And I'm thinking, he's sitting there thinking, all my ancestors are in me saying, get it.
Get it. Yeah.
So
that
did
was
anything new happen with this whole situation?
well, they were arrested. Well, not
A lot of
arrested.
people got charged with a lot of people got
Charged. Right. They got charged. But I think the most important thing for us to think about in this case is I was watching this thing where this guy was saying he was in South Africa and there was a lawyer there calling him a black person. He said, I'm not black, I'm African. And he said, my people allowed your people to come and live here, but you don't belong here. And I was like, whoa, I've never thought of it. And the guy said, well, you're in South Africa and there's a lot of immigrants. He says, no, this is one continent. This is Africa. And you called it South Africa. When you came here, it was all Africa. It belongs to us. And I was like, whoa, I never thought about it that there is a group of people that came to Africa and it now owns all the diamond mines and the gold mines and all those things. But the truth is the original people are there and they're being told that they're black, or they're being told, that they are immigrants or they came from another part of Africa, when the real immigrant is the person who is coming um, to the land and, is taking away all the resources. So that was interesting for me this week. I think
Okay.
that was more, I think there's been a bunch of powerful eye-opening situations for me this week in terms of race and how we perceive race, right? Because Africa is is the largest continent,
Right.
and there are more people on that continent than anywhere else in the world. That country is very rich. It's richer. It's the richest place on earth. Um, if you look at all the animals that we know of, all those animals are in Africa. Very few animals are in, other countries. If you talk about giraffes, tigers, whatever, they're all from Africa. So it's a very wealthy nation, but then the people are poor.
Right. Yeah.
So you kind of wonder.
Because the economy.
Yeah.
It's all about the economy. Mm-hmm. And Clint, the top of your head is showing. I don't know if you know that or not, but I was just looking at.
Oh, you couldn't see me?
No, I think you're sitting back.
Yeah, I think it's because you switched to your
Hold
phone or whatever. But the view that we get,
yeah, we see it now. Uh-huh.
Yeah, the view we get is different than I think what you see.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just wondering, in case you were to look at this later and be like, "Yo, man, you didn't tell me you were showing my forehead the entire time." I did. I did.
That's my best feature.
we got an up close and personal view of it, man. So we agree.
There you go. That's right. I
agree.
didn't autograph it for y'all, America, but all you gotta do is send me a DM. I got you.
So other stuff out there in the news though today is other things going out in the world today is Elon Musk, X, formerly Twitter. It's just so hard just to get to this X from Twitter. You know what I mean? It's like it's gonna always be Twitter, man. What do you think? Is it always be Twitter?
It's always gonna be Twitter. I don't even see how X even comes into play.
Yeah, me neither.
I think it's like when Prince changed his name. The artist formerly known as Prince.
But that was cooler than this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is the social media formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, but if he would have came out and said it, that would have worked. If instead of just doing X, he would have said X, formerly Twitter, maybe that might, ring a bell. But just X is like, nah, man. Nah. It's no one's. It's gonna take you about a good 5 to 6 years to get that to settle in. And by that time, you probably won't even be running the company. But
that is if Twitter exists anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But they're a powerhouse. It'd be hard to overtake them. Even if they've been there for a minute, they probably got patents and stuff like that.
Okay.
But he's saying that they're gonna remove the block feature. You know what I mean? So I got some people that come through my feed. And I'm not gonna call out their names, but there's some people I just rather not see in my feed, and it seems like Twitter promotes them. You know what I mean? It could be these news hosts or, whatever, platform. I don't know if this Elon Musk endorsed or what, but it just seems like the stuff he likes seems to come through my feed. And it's like, bro, I just got to go through and block it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see this dude in my feed. I don't want to see it because what you're doing is when I'm scrolling through, you're counting that view. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, you're boosting this guy's views up. You know what I mean? And off of me, and I don't even like this guy. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna block it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna pay a part of that. So that could be why he wants to remove the block feature, so he can continue to advertise whoever it is they're trying to advertise and screw the numbers, because they got control of the algorithm. You know what I mean? So it's like whoever they're pushing is gonna get promoted. Whoever they're not pushing, I mean, they're just gonna, hopefully they got a bunch of followers because that's the only people that's gonna see them. You know what I mean? But they're pushing certain things and certain agendas. It looks like apparently. So anyway, they say he's gonna. They don't say the timeline, so but just be warned that in the near future here, you're not gonna be able to block anybody. They're saying you can mute people, and then also if DMs in your DMs, you still will be able to block them. You know what I mean? So if someone's just someone's DMing you, I guess racist stuff or what have you, you can block them. Speaking of racist stuff, the Goon Squad. I don't know if you heard about this, but there's these officers out there in Mississippi, call themselves the Goon Squad. There were 6 officers. They basically, somebody said they were living with a white lady, and someone called and said that there was suspicious activity. So one of these guys just beeped or paged or texted one of the other officers to show up at the house and said, look, if there's a camera, knock on the door. If there's not, kick it in. So when they get there, they notice a camera on the front door, so they go kick in the back door. And they see 2 black guys in there. They tie these dudes up, you know what I'm saying, for a couple hours. And I'll just read what they say here because it's a lot longer thing, but they do a pretty good summary here. But on January 24th, the officers burst into a home and then beat, handcuffed, waterboarded, and tasered the 2 men. The officers also sexually abused them with a sex toy by shouting racial slurs. Wow, shouting racial slurs. One of the officers put a gun in their mouths for a mock execution and then pulled the trigger. The gun actually went off. It lacerated his tongue, broke his jaw, and exited through his neck. They then planted drugs at the scene to try to cover up their act. So now they're pleading guilty to federal charges. So anytime I can see these crooked cops and I see a story about them getting caught, I'm like, I feel like it's my duty just to bring it to everybody.
So how did they figure out? How did they know if the cameras were not at the back?
Well, it's not right here, but at the end of the day, they took the surveillance cameras that they had and they threw it in a river after they left.
Oh,
so they took all the stuff and threw it in a river. They took all the evidence out. There's a longer story that I got up, but people on the podcast won't be able to see it. But the long story is they got rid of the evidence, and then after they shot the guy in the mouth, I guess they figured they messed up. So that's when they went out in the back and they decided that they were gonna say that they came in, the guy pointed a gun at him, the BB gun, and then he shot him in self-defense or whatever. So they conspired.
He shot him in his mouth, on his tongue in self-defense. He was that close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the story, he's put the gun in his mouth the first time and pulled it, and the gun didn't go off. And then he racked it, put it back in his mouth the second time, it did go off. You know what I mean? So imagine.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That self-defense is not gonna make any sense. When you're point blank to a person.
And this is Mississippi. These guys aren't bright.
Okay.
Not shout out to Mississippi, but I'm just saying, anywhere in the planet you were to do something stupid like this, you're not that bright. To think that you were just gonna let these guys go and you know what I mean? Because I think if it was just the 2, they probably would have just murdered them and tried to cover it up. But since there was actually 2 of them came, but 4 more came because they texted them. So it was a total of 6. You know what I mean? So I guess everybody definitely wasn't cool with it. Otherwise, they probably would have just killed them. So anyway, I bring all that up just to say that these cops been dirty. A lot of them been dirty. And back in the day, like when everyone was screaming that they didn't trust the cops and all this kind of stuff, no one believed, and they were like, oh, why? They just thought that we had this artificial grudge against law enforcement. It's because stuff like this happened all the time, and we heard about it in the hood. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have TVs and cell phones and Twitter and FaceTime and all that kind of stuff to put this stuff out. You know what I mean? So now it's out there, and we can kind of see, and we know that this stuff has been going on forever. So, again, as much as I can, I'm going to bring it to your attention because I just don't like it. I just don't like it. It's not right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand. We, back in the day, way back in the day, people, when I was curious about the street game and all that, yeah, we had officers that, like them, a group of officers called them the beatdown squad. Because they come in, they gonna beat you down. You know, so
Just like that.
there's groups just like the one you just talked about. There are groups like that in every city, everywhere.
Hmm.
Anywhere there's some drugs going on the street in the corner back in the day, they had a squad like that. You know, and that was the whole purpose: come to beat you down, take your money, and let you go.
Yeah, and but people didn't believe it. People didn't believe
Right?
this stuff. Like,
No.
when you're out there in suburbia, you're just living a lawful life. You're like, well, why? Like you just have no
They
comprehension as
had to
to
have done something wrong.
Right?
exactly. I
Exactly. Why
mean,
why they out there on the street anyway?
Right.
yeah, because
Come on.
no one would believe that the law enforcement officers were, crooked or just bad
Right.
people,
I
or
think
they
I think
policed in a way that thought they was above the law. You know what I mean? So,
I,
you know, so
I think you remember when they had that thing that Blue Lives Matter. A lot of
Yep.
people were saying that they're standing behind them because they do the right thing, and the majority of
Yeah.
them do the right thing.
Exactly.
Like,
Law
as in
enforcement,
any
I
profession.
love law enforcement. Don't get it twisted, because who's protecting me from the criminal? You know what I
Right.
mean?
That's
Like,
right.
the good ones, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I need that. You know what I mean? But, I ain't gonna lie though. These traffic tickets, it's some BS though. You know what I mean? They can stay
They
at home for
have to
that.
meet. They have to
Stay
meet
at
the
home for those
quota.
traffic tickets. You know what I mean?
They have to
They're robbing,
meet. They have to meet the
somebody
quota.
robbing me. I need you to show up with all your artillery. You know what I mean? Back up.
Well, I'm just
You know what I'm saying?
saying,
Like, everybody, bring everything.
tickets. Come on, what person isn't out here speeding somewhere? So yeah, you know,
Right.
you write
But
your
they-
ticket because that's automatic.
It's a
that's
quota
automatic.
though. If you notice,
ask
it's
my
at,
son about that. Ask my son about that.
it's
Ask my
at the
son.
end of the month that they normally. You notice they're out in force. They're trying to gain
Oh, yeah.
that money.
Yeah, it is.
They're
it is,
expected to bring in the money.
and that's sad. That's
Of course.
sad.
Yeah.
That's sad. But on a lighter note, because that was kind of heavy. I said last week that we were gonna do this game, and true to my word, like I always am, I'm gonna bring up the game. All right, and this is a crypto game. Okay, and this game right here. You know what? Actually, what I'm gonna do first though, before I do the crypto game, is I'm gonna bring up the crypto bubbles. That's what I need to do. I need to bring up the crypto bubbles because I first need to prove a point. I first need to prove a point about just the crypto bubbles, just about the psychology of investment. So what we're gonna attempt to do is we're gonna try to make the grown and social folks, the earlier people that been rocking with us from the start with, and the people listening to the podcast, and to my disbelief, people are listening to the podcast. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, go in there, I can see the view. So I'm like, that's cool. So people are listening to the podcast, and we think every single listener out there, if you're working out, whatever you're doing, we appreciate you rocking with Grown and Social. But I'm gonna bring up the crypto bubbles, which you currently can't see, but I'm gonna bring it up only because I want to prove a point that I'm gonna speak out loud. And right now, if you look, you see nothing but red bubbles. Okay,
We can't see it.
Can't see nothing.
you can't see nothing.
No.
Oh, you know why?
No.
It's because, thank you for telling me. It's because I haven't transitioned it yet, and I'm gonna do that right now. All right, so there we go. All right, we good now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All red bubbles, okay? And let me see here. There's the red bubble. All right, so, and you look at Bitcoin, and you look, okay, for the week it's down 11.5%. All right, so a lot of people, when they see stuff like this, Ethereum down 10%. You know what I mean? Like, some of these coins, XRP down 20%. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's blood in the streets. You know what I mean? So when you're an investor, for whatever reason, when people invest money, they only like to invest money when they see green, green, green. It's kind of like people love to spend money when they see green, green, green. And what I would, equivalate this to is if you walk into Neiman Marcus and you see a pair of pants for $600, all right, and you just go, you know what? I'm gonna buy those $600 because they're in fashion right now. They're in trend, right? So your $600 is spent. You spent it, okay?
Right.
Now, a sophisticated shopper, he's not gonna pay full price. What a sophisticated shopper is gonna do is he's gonna wait for a holiday event, a coupon event, a holiday, like some type of sales event, clearance event. Even though clearance is shunned upon in some arenas, but some type of sale event to where he's gonna get a discounted price on the merchandise. All right. So for whatever reason, when people look at markets and they see that it's going down, they think, oh, I need to sell. And that's what you call selling the bottom. Okay. Don't sell the bottom. Okay. Losers sell the bottom. All right. It's kind of like you buying those $600 pants. Okay. You're paying full price. And then matter of fact, you're going to return them and you're only going to get $300. You just lost 50% of what you paid for those pants. You know what I mean? So a real investor, someone like me, I'm going to look at this red market and I'm going to say, down, down, down. You know what this means to me? You see these red bubbles, you see these minus? That means I'm getting a 20% discount. Okay. That means I'm getting an 18% discount. This Luna Classic, I'm getting a 19% discount. So all these negative numbers that you see right here, these are all discounts on the current price. Okay. So what we need to start doing is, as investors, we need to start thinking about the psychology of why we think we need to pour money into stuff that's green, and you're overpaying for it versus waiting for when everyone's running in the streets screaming blood, there's blood in the streets, and you're just wanting to sell things because it's going down. All right. Slow down, calm down, breathe in. It's going to go back up. Okay. These are what they call shakeouts. And a lot of times it's done by institutions and hedge funds that know how to play the market. They dump it and buy it back for the lower price. And that's what I believe is exactly what we're witnessing right now. So when I see a red day like this, I go to buy mode. All right. This is when your boy Beatbox goes shopping. All right. When I see bloody days like this is when I go shopping. So now that I've got that out the way, I'm going to get ahead and I'm going to stop sharing that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring us back and let's see here. I'm going to bring back up this chart that I just got finished showing because I'm going to do the game that we talked about. And this game that we talked about is up on the screen. It's talking about turning $200 into $10,000 with me. All right. And if you got $500, we're going to turn that into $20,000. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. So don't come crying to me if you lose your money. All right. Your $200. All right. All right. Everybody got that straight? Good. Got it. These amounts that I'm predicting right here, these are going to be in 2025, but I think it's going to happen in probably October of next year, 2024. All right. So what I'm telling you right now is if you got $200 in your pocket, we're going to play this game to see if we can turn that into $10,000 by 2025. So if you had $200 right now, any grown man on this planet, and someone said next year you can have $10,000, would that be a good deal to you? Because the thing is we also need to have patience as investors. A lot of times people want to put money into something and then next week they want to see, they want to see the $200 be, $5,000 2 weeks from now. That's not going to happen. It might happen in a bull run. It might happen if you get the hot token and you sell before anyone else dumps on you. But from a strategy and a safe kind of stance, that's not, that's just not practical. So what's more practical is for you to buy things that are on a discount, quality tokens, and you buy them when they're low and you sell them when they're high. It's just that simple. Now, eventually we're going to get into trading. I'm not going to go over that today, but this right here is more of a long-term strategy. All right. So what I got up here, I got 5 different tokens. All right. So over here, you got a coin. You got the amount that I purchased these at today. You can see it's the 18th of August. I invested $500. All right. The current value of these tokens are $500. Right now, I'm in zero profit and loss. I got 0 return on my investment. And then these are the current prices for each one of these tokens. So this is a recorded show. You can go back, KDA, NEAR, FLUX, QNT, and HBAR. All right, those are the 5 tokens that I got: KDA, Near, Flux, QNT, and H bar. All right, these are the tokens that I got, and these are the prices today. You can go anywhere in the world and look and see and make sure that those are the prices today. So this KDA price right here in 2025, I'm expecting this right here to be anywhere from $50 to $100. This Near token right here is $1.14 today. I'm expecting that next year to be anywhere between $30 and $110. Flux token is 32 cents today. I'm expecting that to be $10 to $15. The QNT, it's $99.89 today. I'm expecting that to be between $1,500 and $2,500. H bar is 6 cents today, and I'm expecting that to be between $1.20 and $2.25. These ranges are here because I got low ranges and I got high ranges. The low is like the minimum that I'm expecting for these tokens. But then the high range is like if people just go euphoric and there's some type of narrative around that token, that's just gonna make everyone and their mama want to buy it. Like you're in a grocery store, someone's like, oh yeah, I got that Flux token. Like that's when this thing is gonna be $15. But barring that, it's gonna be about $10, all right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna track these prices. I'm not gonna do this every week, but I'll probably do it once a month, maybe. And we'll see kind of like where my investment is taking me, all right? So we'll see if my $200 becomes $10,000 next year, like I'm telling y'all, and we're gonna play this game. All right, I'm expecting 25K. I'm expecting 25K off of this, but we'll see where we land at. So if you got $200, you get these 2 top tokens right here. These 2, I think, will get you 10, but if you do the full 5, I think it'll get you 20. I think 20K on the low end, but I'm thinking it's gonna be 25. All right. So that's the game, all right? And I said I was gonna do it last week, so I just wanted to bring it up, and that's kind of like, you know, I feel like, hold on, was I even sharing the screen?
Yes, you were.
Okay,
you were, but you weren't sharing the green screen. You took down with the KDA. It's down, but
okay.
you were showing it at first.
Okay, all right, good. Because that would be messed up if I didn't. So, what brought us here tonight?
So I'm just gonna say that next week, please tune in if you want to see if Beat is as good a trader as he says he is.
Next week? Okay. No, I said I'm not gonna do that every week. See, that's the whole.
You're not gonna do it every week?
No, I'm not gonna do it every week because that's the thing. When you're a serious trader, you know what I'm saying. When I come here and look at the top of Clint's forehead. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't want everyone, you know, micromanaging this stuff. I don't need that stress. I don't need that stress. Okay. The thing is, so you got all right. You got 3 types of trading.
So it's 30 days. 30 days from now, you're gonna look at it.
We'll see. But the thing is you got long-term investors, which I kind of am. You got mid-term investors, right, or what they call swing traders,
right?
And then they'll trade like, you know, once a month. Once every couple weeks. I'm more of a swing trader, but I'm also a long-term trader. My strategy for what I just showed you is long-term in crypto is like this is a 12 to 18 month horizon, right? Because I'm telling you by 2025, I'm expecting these prices by the top of the bull run, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna buy low and sell high. Some people have, if you know charts, as the prices are swinging, you can catch those swings, you know, daily or weekly if that's what you want to do. But me, I'm more laid back. I like to just when we're in a bull market like this, I mean, in a bear market like this, and we're literally at the very bottom, I just want to buy and then I want to sell at the top of the bear market. And then what I'll do is, most people will think that they're just gonna hold this thing forever. I don't care if it's a token that you love. You need to sell it because it's gonna go down when Bitcoin goes down like it does every 4 years. You got a bull cycle and then you got a bear cycle. What happens is you buy in the bear, you sell it at the top of the bull, and then you buy back in when it crashes back down. That's when you buy it. Like right now, everyone that made money in the last bear cycle, they're right now what they call dollar cost averaging in. They're just buying it while they're at these low prices because they all know all these tokens are going to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x, you know what I'm saying, for the next cycle. So that's what we're going to do. So once we make this 20 grand, what we might do is keep 10 of it, and then we're going to put 10 of it away, and then in the next cycle, instead of us investing $500, we're gonna invest $10,000, and then we're gonna turn that $10,000 instead of turning it into 20K, we're gonna turn that 10,000 into 300, 400K. You see what I'm saying? That's how this game is gonna be played, and then we're gonna keep 100, 200 of that in our pocket. Go somewhere, travel the world, buy some sponsors for the channel. You know what I mean? And then we're gonna invest the rest of it. That's what we're gonna do. All right. So that's how this works, Jenny. But we're not gonna sit here every day. I'm not gonna be watching the market every morning when I wake up, seeing if it's up or down. I'm not gonna do that. You wanna know why? Right. Because we're so far at the bottom, even if it drops another 10, 20, 30%, I don't care. You wanna know why? Because no one can time the bottom of the market. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's just not possible. Right. So as long as I'm within 50% of the bottom, like if I were to, you know what I'm saying? Like if you buy something for a penny and it drops down to 0.5 cent, when that thing's $1, are you going to care about that? You're not, because you're up 100x. You're not going to care about that at all. So these tokens that I invested in, these are things that are going to do some big numbers, and I don't really care how far away from the bottom I am, because I know that the multiples are far greater. It's riskier not to have them than it is, you know what I'm saying, than to be. And that's another reason why I don't watch it every day too, because you got to have a strong stomach for that. I used to do all that kind of stuff, but I'm telling you, as a seasoned investor, it's not a good look. You know what I mean? If you're on your phone every day and you just can't stay away from it, you got your mortgage money in there or something like that, don't do that. Don't do that. You need to have money that you can afford to lose. You know
I would say put your Starbucks money in it. Okay? Yeah, you get up every morning, you go and buy a cup of coffee. Take that cup of coffee money and put it in it.
There you go. Money you can afford to lose, that's not going to break you, and that you're not going to say, yo, beatbox, where my 20K at? You know what I mean? We have to call Clint, we have to call the dogs out. You know what I mean? We don't want to do that, because we're positive show. Yeah, we're a positive show. We're a positive show.
I think with crypto, you're going to have a strong constitution if you invest a lot of money. Because you can be wiped out in a day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, depending on what you invest in, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you might need to.
So, do men fear marriage for a good reason? Okay, that's the reason why we all came out tonight. That's the topic of the show, Jenny J.
Yes.
So, Clint, let me ask you this, man. Given everything that we know about marriage and people calling police on people, to get them evicted out of their own home. How does that make you feel towards marriage, as a man in 2023? Does that make you feel, is there any comfort level that you got within this, or is this like outlier event?
That doesn't make you feel comfortable, but as someone once told me, when you meet someone and you're getting to know one another and all that, in the beginning, the ambassador shows up. But after a while, the ambassador goes out the door and the real person comes in. So now, when the real person comes in, now you're really starting to see. And now, by then, you may have already been contemplating marriage, but now, you seeing this person, and this person is not the person you met in the beginning.
Right.
Because the ambassador left. Now we are totally comfortable with being around you. We are farting around you. We are doing everything. Any and everything. And it's just like, you're so comfortable, but then things happen. And next thing you know, like you said, they call the police, get you put out the house that your name is on, but you getting put out anyway. And it's just how people are. You have to be careful when you're talking marriage, because it's scary. It's almost a make and break situation. It's almost a make and break situation. Whether it's financially, mentally, or physically.
Right.
So we have to be careful. I mean, I want to be married. I haven't been married yet. I want to be married. But, I have to make sure that it's flowing like water all the way. If it's not flowing, and we got to argue about the dumbest thing.
Yeah, that's not a good look. That's not a good use of energy.
Nah.
So
that's
Jenny,
a waste of energy.
Is there anything that Clint said that resonates with you as far as some of the apprehensions that
I
he
think
might have
I
about marriage?
I think that our approach in industrialized society to marriage is probably the problem. Why everybody has like this like is worried about the outcome. So women are working and they're earning their own income. Men were traditionally the breadwinners, and so there's been a shift. And I think a lot of women have go-getter energy now.
Yeah.
Okay, and because of that, a lot of times, and I think being in the workplace causes it. You have to go out there and really get what you need, and so you bring it home. And so there's two energies in the household that is, for want of a better word, because both people have those energies, but there's two masculine energies in the household at all times. And so I think that's where the problem lies. That's not going to change because it is what it is. But I do think that when people get into a relationship, they have to make sure that they're getting into the relationship not because of what we said last week. The time is running out. You're the one that asked me, stuff like that. You're getting into it because it's a particular reason. You feel like you can have a long-term relationship with this person. And the problem is, I think a lot of men prioritize physical relations over everything.
Really?
Okay? And what a person looks like.
That was like on the bottom of my list when I think about. Well, I don't know. Not on the bottom of my list.
As a middle-aged man, yes. As a man who was married years ago, a decade ago, that was not on the bottom of your list. I promise you it was.
But
Right.
you want to wake up. You don't want, as a man, I don't want to wake up to my homeboy.
You don't want to wake up to Godzilla?
And everybody, we all know beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
If you're not attracted to someone, there's no need to even think about waking up next to that person.
But here's my question. My question is, do you think sometimes you're physically attracted to the person, but you're not emotionally or mentally attracted to them?
Yes.
Right? So
and
if we
get the fuck
Go
buddies.
ahead.
That's how we get fuck buddies.
Right.
Because we're not, the sex is good, but anything else is so once that's over with.
Right. Yeah. And that's the problem. There's nothing else
Right.
after that. And eventually,
Right.
I don't care. I don't care how fine you are. Eventually, like, even when you think about Jay-Z cheating on Beyonce, I mean, I don't care how fine you are. And I've heard it too many times from people that have what we would consider to be a fine woman. Eventually, they become like wallpaper. I don't know if it's just the norm, like you getting used to someone, or that habits that turn you off. But eventually, these people aren't as sexy to you as they are to everyone else. You know what I mean? So I don't care what woman you are. Eventually, your man, I don't care how fine you are. Eventually, your man is not going to be attracted to you as, John Doe on the street. He's just not, because he's used to it. You know what I mean? So, it's good when you got something in addition to the, what Jenny thinks everyone wants, a big fat butt. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to need something to sustain you besides that, to when you get older, he's got something else that he's looking forward to. So, luckily for me, I found out about the attraction after I found out about the person. The physical attraction after I found out about the emotional, the friendship attraction there. So it's kind of like, I would recommend it, although it's hard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because just because most people probably wouldn't be as determined
Motivated
or
to.
motivated as I was with someone that was so elusive. But I wasn't looking for what I thought I was looking for at the time. I was actually looking for the opposite, and it just so happens out that it happened to work out. But that's not going to always be the case. I know this is kind of like an outlier situation, but all I'm trying to do is just say that if a big butt, what I'm saying, is all you're looking for, eventually that's going to run away. You're going to need something else. Y'all going to need to be able to sit down in a room without a TV when electric go out, in a storm or something like that, and be able to talk and just, figure something out. Like, me and JJ, sometimes I think we'll sit down and just cut the TV off and just talk about stuff, just because we've got, just such, opinions and thoughts about certain things, and we like to hear each other's reaction to it. So we can go for hours, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, which is one of the reasons what birthed this show, because I was like, I wanted to kind of almost document it. I was like, man, with this, it's so flawless and effortless. It's like, I think it's a good case study for people that are trying to find something, just to even see how me and her interact with each other. And, it's, at a certain point in your life, right? You're trying to give back, and I try to give back financially. I try to give back mentally, positively, and this is just another way of giving back with these relationships. So not that this is the best relationship, but I'm just saying it's a good blueprint for people that are looking for a healthy relationship. So that's a long-winded way to say that you need to find other things besides beauty in order to sustain a relationship. I don't care what it is. If y'all got, the habits, if your habits are, the same. Like if you like to build houses and so does she, like that's going to keep you in a long-term relationship. If you like to skate and so does she like to skate, that's going to keep you, like y'all need to be able to do so. You like to travel, she likes to travel. I mean, it's like, you're going to need to be able to have more than just, oh, you look good today. And then if you're a woman, you're going to have to do more than, I'm going to go buy this makeup or these jeans that are going to make me look super sexy. Barbie girl style. Like, you're gonna need to do something a little more than that. I'm just saying, you might get away with it earlier on in your 20s, but once you get up into your 30s and your 40s, for sure, it's not gonna fly. You know what I mean? Like, people are a little more, they're not as shallow when you get older. But then again, it's like, man, I can't even say that with a straight face, man, because it just, I get let down by so many people, man, that are our age and older, and it's like,
there's still like, shallow dudes out there our age.
Oh my gosh, bro, it's like, damn. I mean, it's like,
you would think they get past that, but no, they haven't.
Got arrested development, man. It's arrested development, and it's real. And that's part of the problem we got too with a lot of these women too, is they're used to dealing with brothers like that, so they look at a grown man and they want to treat you as a boy because they think you're still in that boy mentality. Right. And we got a lot of people that are in that, Peter Pan syndrome or whatever you want to call it. They're in this arrested development, and it's not a good look. You know what I'm saying, for the mature brothers that are out there that are trying to do right.
I think that men fear marriage for good reason. In terms of, so a young man needs to, if you're going traditional, you need to purchase the ring. So that is going to be a significant amount of money.
Yeah, but we talking about money. See, we already on to a bad start.
Right. So he's expected.
Why I need to buy a ring? But why I need to buy a ring?
Because
why can't I give you a promise ring?
No, you need to give me not a promise ring, but I'm grateful ring. That's what you need to give me.
Okay, so you said I'm grateful ring. Okay,
yeah.
He has to go buy it. So now he go on down there and buy it. And
right.
He ain't spend no more than $50 for it.
Right.
Is he grateful?
That's the thing. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem. He's not grateful enough unless it is. I think it's supposed to be 2/3 of
3 months salary.
No, 3 months salary, right?
Yeah, 3. Yeah, I'm sorry, 3 months salary. Yeah.
3 months salary.
Because I don't know. So I'm learning as we're talking.
So it's supposed to be
3 months salary. Yeah,
3 months salary, right? Unless you're like my ex who went and got it on it's not
or you got good money and you just like, I'm gonna go out here and just get you this, $30,000 ring. You know what I mean? Or
right,
$1
right,
million ring, right?
right.
Kardashian style,
But,
right?
So
but how
that
do you know she wants something to that effect?
uh
How do you know she wants something like that? $30,000 ring. You want a $30,000 ring?
I personally don't want a ring. If I were to get married again, I want an actual marriage, functional marriage. Okay? That's what I want.
The ring don't mean nothing.
Because I've had rings. I've had the wedding ring, the suffering. Okay? So
Yeah.
so
So long as you cook my eggs right, you get all that.
Right.
All right?
right? So I'm just saying, a ring, yeah, wonderful, it's cute. Here, look, my God, look, guys, look at my ring. But eventually, it wears off.
It does.
Right. So I'm just saying, he has to come financially. He has to come. The ring has to come. The weddings are expensive. You're talking about he has to create a home for his significant other. So he has to build all that. Then comes he's in the relationship, and men are not trained to feel their feelings, and women are about feelings. So if she's feeling down, he says to her, "Man up, it's not that bad, whatever." And so there is like a divide, and then eventually it becomes a bigger and bigger divide, and then she wants to leave, and because she doesn't feel a connection to him. And of course, as I said, because we are in a society where women are driven, the whole concept is when you leave, make sure that he can't get another girl, especially if he wronged you. So you want to make sure you dry him out, before he goes. Because first of all, he took your best years, because we know traditionally men want younger women. So there's a whole system.
Wait, what is all this I'm hearing? Okay, you sound like you designing evil over there. You know what I mean? Like, nah.
Well, look,
we're not airing that. We're not airing any of that.
Okay.
Hey, what is all that?
What?
I'm just
All that stuff
if,
you were
if
just
a
talking
ring
about.
is not,
What was all that you were spooning
not
right
really-
there?
No, I'm just saying that we were talking about why men fear marriage. And I'm saying
why.
they.
Oh, okay.
Of
That's
all
not
that
what you
stuff.
want to do.
So the fear.
I thought you were giving recommendations. I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't giving a recommendation. Huh?
Oh. No, I was just saying why men are afraid, because you're talking big weddings and receptions and all. Oh no, all we want to do is say I do and love
Right.
you, take care of you.
Right.
We don't need the big weddings and all that. And you're spending all this money, and
But it's fairy
half the
tale,
people
man.
that come to bring you a gift.
Right.
It's part of the fairy tale, though.
But
Well,
one thing I can tell you is it's a party, right? The actual physical marriage begins after that, and that's where the challenge begins. So I mean, Everton and I could have a party, right? We could walk down the aisle, we could do all kinds of things, but we don't have to legally. Wouldn't necessarily have, if we want our party, we could do a party.
Destination marriage, all right?
A destination wedding,
and
right?
if I ain't paying for your ticket, that means you ain't coming. You know what I mean?
I like
Because
that.
I'm gonna go somewhere where you can't afford to go. You know what I mean? So if I ain't buying a
Phuket,
ticket,
we're going to Phuket.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying to you that because of those reasons, and then later on, you're talking about financial ruin for the guy. There is a fear, but as I'm saying is, if you're picking a partner,
but that's a good. The financial reasons, though, I think are gonna be, when we boil this whole thing down, the biggest fear I think that exists is the financial catastrophe that you're going to be in if you decide that you want another woman, because this woman's going to bring hell to you. She's going to tie up all your money. You're going to end up having to pay for her when you with another woman. And it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, all you had to do is just not, I mean, if you're a high value man and women want you, why would you lock yourself into one woman and you decide later on the line that you're gonna, change your mind? Now you're trapped. I'm just saying, if you're a high value man, because now she know you got money, she's gonna come after it, and she's gonna eventually get it, because that's just how it works when you go through a divorce. So women's, and then you're talking about, like, luckily for me, my lawyer told me, well, she got a job, you got a job, so I don't think she's gonna, like, alimony isn't warranted. So if you one of these high value men that run around here talking about I do it to 100%, you want to know what's gonna happen now? Now you're gonna be paying your 100%, and you're gonna be paying her alimony. Like, I just paid child support. You know what I mean? Because my ex got a job, but if your wife ain't working and you get a divorce from her, now you gotta literally carry her on your back. You know what I'm saying? Like, she working 9 to 5. You know what I mean?
She working 9 to 5, yeah.
I'm just saying. So all these brothers running around here talking about, oh, if you're not doing 100%, you does that and the other. I mean, the thing is, though, is are they marrying you at 100%? That's what you need to be asking yourself. If there's someone taking care of you 100%, the thing is are you married to them? Because if they're not married to you, that means that's not a long-term plan. That's not a long-term thing. If you married, man, then you got it made in the shade, because you're gonna get alimony. You for sure gonna get alimony. You know what I mean? So if I'm a high-value man, though, and I'm making a lot of money, that is a turnoff.
One of the things I wanted to say is that research shows that married men get more benefit from being married than married women, right? Health-wise, even their finances grow exponentially. So when you say why they want to get married, it appears that there is something that happens. Maybe they're more motivated to provide for their family. Maybe they're not spreading their resources to multiple women. There's something to be said for it, right? So when you say why do men want to get married, a lot of times it changes their economic level, right? And you have to remember that women do, even if they're homemakers, they contribute. You would have to pay a cook. How much you think to pay somebody to come in and cook every day, right? How much you pay somebody to clean the house every day? How much you pay somebody to do the laundry every day? To take care of your children, daycare. So they do contribute to the household even if they don't work. And you're free to go do whatever you need to do while they take care of the home. So it is, they do contribute. The question here for me is, as a man, if you decide that and most men marry women because they feel like they want to lock it down. They feel like, listen, nobody else should get this. So this is not even a reason like I love you. It's more a reason like he ain't gonna get you, right? So they put that ring on. In their mind, they still plan to play the field. So most men who get married are not necessarily thinking they're done with women. They're just thinking, you're done with men. Okay? So...
You see that? She's got an extreme view, man. She's got an extreme view of this, man.
Clint, what do you think? What do you think?
I think the way you that little last statement almost sounded like a woman scorn. But,
Right.
I get it. But sometimes men, it's not so much as saying, okay, yeah, you're locked down, but I'm still out here playing. It's not like that, because sometimes the roles are reversed. The brother's home, he's there, and the woman's out and about.
That's true.
She may
That's true.
Be out
That's true.
And he's staying loyal to the T.
Right. But, Agreed. I agree.
But men, a lot of men who are young, think, okay, if I settle down, I'm settling down with this woman because she does have a good job. It's close to 6 figures. It ain't 6, but it's close. Good enough. I ain't that 6, close, but good enough. So we can get things together, but I can still go out here and play.
Right.
As long as I'm out here playing, everything's good at home. I'm gonna take care of home, gonna do this and do that, but I'm gonna go out here and play too. And I know
Right.
some brothers that are,
Right.
you know,
And a lot of times women know. A lot of times we know. Right. We're aware.
at some point, the man or woman is gonna fuck up, and it's gonna you just gonna kind of tell on yourself slowly but surely.
Right.
Because you're gonna get comfortable when you're thinking your partner doesn't know when they really do know.
Right. And I
They
can
really
tell
do
you,
know.
I can tell you, no
They got
woman, no side chick is gonna just sit out there quietly. I promise you. She will.
well,
You think there are some?
back in the day,
You telling on yourself. You're telling on yourself.
I don't have a problem with it now.
Okay.
This is over 30, 40 years ago.
Okay.
And this person is married now.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there was a person that I was dealing with, but there was always this other person who I knew from my job, but we would just get together when we got together. It wasn't an issue about I can't come over or and I have
She accepted that. She was like, I'm here whenever you're ready.
And it pretty much was just like that.
Nice.
It pretty much was just like that.
Nice.
It was, and never not one time said, "Oh, nigga, I'm gonna tell your girl," and did it. Not one even see me with my girl. Never said anything.
Well,
and that's rare.
That's rare. Right. Most people.
There was a time where that person even caught feelings, and I was like, "Nah, this ain't going," And we continue to do what we do, but they didn't lose their mind and say, "Oh, he don't want me." All of me. He just want this, and then that's it. And, she didn't trip or nothing. She didn't trip or nothing. She just, putting it out there, and I answered honestly, and we continue to do what we do for a few more years.
Right. That's nice.
So, what about good marriages? Does anyone? Do you both? Does everyone seem to think that they're all this? Marriages are bad, and men shouldn't get into them, or
marriages.
or do we got any good marriages that you can think of that are out there, and people are like, you're like, wow, that's like they're sustaining the test of time.
Denzel is still right at that with his wife. There's a bunch of them.
And why do you think that is, though?
Met one couple 35 years together.
Who was that?
35 years. I met a couple at a restaurant one time, and they were together 35 years. I know a couple in Georgia that's been together at least close to 50.
Right. So I think sometimes
marriage, a good marriage.
I think you go to your job every day, and no matter what your boss says, because you want that money, you do whatever you have to do. You put in your best effort. You make systems.
As best you can.
Right.
As best you can. You bend as far as the finger can go.
Right. And a lot of times, even if you change jobs, you go and put in the same energy. Right? Because you need that money. I think if you crave that relationship with that person, you will put in the energy. Right. I think a lot of times people get lazy. You know what I'm saying? They're like, well, you're here, I'm here. So that's what I think a long-lasting marriage would be, in that you still have the same energy for the relationship. And so you ever heard that roaches don't die?
They just multiply.
Right. So, and they say they mulch. So they're saying that if some of the stuff falls off, and then they grow new wings and they grow new parts. So what I'm trying to say to you is, I think any relationship has to evolve. The old parts, like when you met, it was like, let's go to bed, right? But then 4 or 5 years into that, it has to be a different situation. You're gonna learn something together. You're gonna go to a class. You're gonna explore something. You're gonna create something. You're gonna create a business. You're gonna go to church or whatever it is you're gonna do.
Right.
But then you have to evolve into that. And then maybe 10 years later, there is another step. We're going to retire in this spot. And this is how I am going to, I'm going to teach and you're going to, work with young people in some area. And so we're doing that as a couple. And I feel like if you keep on doing that, you're actually like moving forward with the same person. Now, what happens, I think, a lot of times is we're in the house, we see each other, and then we go out and interact with our friends, and we're changing and moving with our friends. But the relationship is still the same. You're like, well, every Tuesday, Wednesday night, 3 times a week, let's get that done. We get it done. Check, check, check. Dinner is cooked. Check, check, check. That's what I'm saying. And all those things are done, and everybody is evolving and changing. And then one day you wake up and you're like, I really don't, I don't really like you.
Wow.
And then you have all these possessions, and you're thinking,
yeah, but the reason is why do you wake up that day and say you don't like that person?
Because I think it's been
that's another show.
I think it's been happening again and again and again, but you didn't have time to notice. And there's something called gray divorces now, where a lot of couples who have children and have been married for a long time are divorcing. And that's because the kids are gone. The man is retired, so he's home all the time, and you're like, I don't like him. You see what I'm saying? So that's what's happening. I think people don't spend enough time together either.
And that's wrong.
Right. We were watching.
That man's like, man, I could have all these young girls. I could have had all these young girls, and now I'm sitting here stuck with you.
But you knew you was about to get stuck with that person before you got stuck.
Right.
So you could have not and even be stuck if you didn't go that way. But
right.
You chose to get in the mud. And now the mud done dried up, and now you're stuck like Chuck.
Right.
What you want?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot.
You have to see. You have to
right.
see it down the road. You
right.
have to give it some kind of. If you can't see the vision, what's the purpose?
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, marriage is. I mean, it should be a lifelong. It should be a lifelong thing, and if you actually do decide that you're gonna take that step to hop into that lifelong commitment, it should be a lifelong commitment. I mean, getting married isn't like just I'm dating this chick now. Excuse me. It almost feels like we're getting into a space to where people are like, we're dating, so let's get married. You know what I mean? That's kind of like how I feel about it. I feel like, yeah. Let's just do it just because.
We've been together 2 years. We're always with each other all the time. Outside of work, we're together and da-da-da. So why don't we just get married? We're already looking for a place together. So why don't we just get married? We're getting ready to get a place and get married and just do the damn thing. That's what people are doing.
Exactly. But the
and
thing
then finding out they hate them.
Or when you're dating someone, there's a lot less stress involved when you have that argument. You know what I mean? Because
you go home.
You're dating someone, you're not living together, you're just like, y'all get in an argument, this person goes home, cools off, you go to your home or whatever, cool off. But when you're married, I mean, it's kind of like you guys are still in each other's face. You know what I mean? And you're going to have to find out a different, mechanism to cool off. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, a marriage is something that two people engage into for, what should be, a lifetime thing. It's not just like, the hottest thing, because we're bored or there's nothing else to do. So, if you're a man or a woman wondering, whether or not you should hop into a relationship, you got to ask yourself, some serious questions. And I guess, I don't know, Clint, I want to hear your list, but my list would be my finances. It's kind of like, am I in this marriage? Am I the breadwinner or not? Because if I'm the sole breadwinner, that means if we get divorced, I can pay alimony. So this is where that 50-50 thing actually comes to your benefit. You know what I'm saying?
And not only alimony, but if you've been together for more than a certain amount of years, she also won't get half your retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, my retirement.
And a lot of people didn't know that for a while.
Well,
yeah, they get half.
I found out after I got divorced, I needed my retirement for living expenses because I was kicked out of my house. And then they said, "Oh, we need your wife to sign here." I'm like, what? That's my money. That's my money. Nah, that's not your money.
Matter.
It's not your money. It's not your money. It's y'all's money, okay? And you can't get it unless she agrees to it. So the retirement that you're working for, your 401k, if you're married, guess what? New news, bro. She got half of that too. I don't want to scare anyone here. I don't want to scare anyone here. Because that's why some people start just thinking on.
But you could also have half of her retirement too.
Right, if she's the breadwinner. So it's all about who's making the most. You know, who's making the most, and it has to be a good amount in order for it to be, you know.
Yep.
Come on,
so I mean that's not helping my case. So, that's not helping my case. So, I was trying to build a
marriage is a team thing, and
you
better know what you're doing before you walk in.
There you go. Marriage is a team thing, and you know, like the show that we started out with, you know what I'm saying, talking about do men fear marriage for a good reason. I think there are some valid. I think there's some valid concerns for fear. I do think there is some valid concerns for fear, especially if you got a woman that's taking advantage of these tools that are being put out there for her to take it, you know, to accelerate herself, you know what I'm saying, in your absence, you know what I mean, and they make it, you know, and they give her an incentive ultimately to split up, you know what I'm saying, everything that you decided to build up, you know what I mean, so they're giving her a license to break down everything you built up. So if you are, so that's the answer. I mean, my answer is yes, men do have a valid fear of getting married. I'm sorry, Jenny J. We got a valid fear. We got a valid fear. And it goes beyond financial.
Finance is always going to be a valid fear because nobody wants to be homeless or broke. Nobody wants
and I would say women have a valid fear because if you destroy your body, giving your creating your heritage, okay, your lineage. Then we give you our youth.
It's child support.
And but what I'm trying to say to you is, in the end, our market value is lower.
But your market value is lower anyway. Your market value. That's the problem. That's the problem with. An unfortunate problem with women is
that market value goes back and forth. Though.
No, it goes
because just as quick.
Well, you're right. You're right.
You got a healthy man. As soon as you get married, now he starts breaking down.
I want to tell you like this. In most women's cases, I would say that their value goes down as they get older because a lot of them they start, you know what I'm saying? Some of them just start, you know, maybe the kids did have something to do with them gaining weight or just getting disproportionate. You know what I'm saying? But then there's some women that when they get older, you're like, damn, is she ever going to get ugly? It's almost kind of like you're like upset. Like, damn, like, you know what I mean? You're like, wow, she's still like, you know what I mean? Like, she's just going to always be
good,
fine.
Yeah,
she's just gonna always look good. Like, I ain't gonna lie. There's some girls that I hate, you know what I'm saying, that they were kind of pretty, and I'm like, I can't wait for your ass to get older. It's like, okay, 2-3 years, I'm like, damn, you still look the same. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're just gonna always be fine. It's almost like one of those things that it's upsetting. It's upsetting. It's upsetting. I threw everybody off with that, didn't I?
Yeah, but
Jenny J is one of the ones that I'm not upset about. You know what I'm saying? But she's one of those ones that I'm sure there are some people that are like, damn, is she ever gonna, you know, like people are angry. They're angry about it. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is that women's timeline don't necessarily mean that you're gonna get devalued. So Jenny, I know the point you were trying to make is that you get older, your market value goes down. What I'm saying is that's not always the case. There's some women that are out there that I don't know what it is, but I don't know if there's a gracefulness that comes with being aged, but if you're like a well put together woman and you got a gracefulness about yourself, I mean, there's just like a peacefulness that men. I mean,
Would
it's
you
just like
would you
it's just
would you
attraction.
agree? Would you agree that a woman, um, in the current dating market, competing with younger women, um, would definitely not necessarily get picked, even if she is a pleasant person?
It depends on the man.
I
It
know, but I'm
depends
just saying.
on.
I'm talking about numbers. So tell me in
I don't
proportion.
like, but I don't like talking about numbers though like that because I'm never in the majority. I'm always in the minority.
Right, but then I'm saying, would you think that the majority of men would choose? Because men say things like,
But then you're not
"I
asking
want
me a
to."
question. But you're not asking me a question if you're asking me to choose what the majority of people are going to do because that you already got the answer, right?
Okay, so
You
I
want me to say the
guess
majority. I'm not going to say that.
agreed.
I don't because I don't
Okay,
agree with it.
agreed. So here's what I'm saying to you: that most men will tell you that they want a younger girl because she has less baggage and less damage.
Yeah, and a lot of the times she has less intellectual capacity, so
Right.
she'll do whatever the hell I want her to do.
Right. So she's easier to deal with because then you have somebody who's
if
checking you every
if you're
second.
not in love, they're easy to deal with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm saying. I think the whole point is we Western society, America itself, okay, tends to celebrate money over family and money over and so people are gonna go to earn their money, right? And if they can somehow find a system that gives them money, they're gonna use that. And so I think the system is broken in terms of maintaining the family structure. So
Mm.
I don't even know if men um, being fearful or not being fearful is the thing. It's the whole system of how things are set up. Okay, so if you're having trouble in your marriage, there's no let's free money to say, hey, go get counseling, or hey, let's figure out the conflicting issues that you're having or whatever. But as soon as you say I need to separate, those divorce attorneys turn up, right? And they and the judge and everybody get to work to get you separated,
Yeah. Yep.
right? It's just like, listen. So I'm just saying, it's not. I think the whole system is built, but I think most men should look at marriage in this way. If you're entering into a relationship with somebody, you should be like having that upfront front conversation. How are we gonna manage our funds? Um,
Mm.
who is gonna pay? When we separate, what are the things? Um, so let's make a plan before we get into it. Another thing,
Oh, wait.
I
another
don't know
Which
about
point are you
saying of
trying to make here?
separation
You trying to make the point that we shouldn't get married? Because that sounds like
no,
because when you
I'm
said
not.
the
I'm
plan
just
of
saying
separate, you don't have to do that. I don't think you should. I think you should just make the plan of staying together and staying together forever
right.
and never the plan of a separate, because if you plan something, that means you're
exactly.
planting a
Yeah.
seed which
Exactly.
can grow,
Exactly.
overpower what you're trying to do. So
Right.
we don't want
So
Yeah.
activity.
so here's what I'm saying. The
It's like getting
natural
married or prenup. I mean, it's just
so
what I
so
mean.
let's
Like,
say so let's say this. The person you marry, just like you said, the ambassador is not the
Hmm.
person you're gonna live with. So when you're surprised by the person you get with, you need an escape plan.
mm.
True, true,
Well, and
true.
that on that
I'll give
note,
you that.
We went over time. We
Yeah,
went so
yeah, we
yeah,
far.
that's
over.
all we got time for, folks. So
Yeah,
until
we
next
over.
Friday, Grown and Social.
Yes.
Remember, if you got anything you want to tell any one of us, you can hop on the show. Click the link in the description. Until next week, Clint, Jenny J, we appreciate you for coming on. We'll see you
That's
next
it.
week. And with
Yeah.
that, y'all know what it is.
We
Bye guys. Bye. We held you up, but Hopefully, you learned some.
That's
See you
it.
next week.
Hopefully.
We gonna be out of
All right.
here.
Later, people. Later, people.